What's that?
There are no guests.
What guests?
The extras. I need the same background folks as yesterday.
How come? From what scene?
47.
Yes, that scene was shot yesterday. So?
Today's scene 48. But the restaurant is empty. Needs to be full.
According to what schedule version?
I don't know. I just know I need a full restaurant.
So when was that decided to shoot scene 47 and scene 48 on 2 different days?
Yesterday.
Well, for God's sake, I don't have that in the budget. I simply don't have the money. I mean, I just have them budgeted for 1 day. So where should I take all that money from? What do you want me to do?
Well, I don't know, but I do need a full restaurant, though.
All right. I'll take care of it. Hold on. I will call you back, all right? See how quickly your shooting schedule and your budget can get out of sync. So there needs to be a better way. So wouldn't it be great if all the changes in a shooting schedule would ripple through the budget in real time? So here's another video for all your hardworking people on set and at the production office. And today's topic is smart budgeting with Yamdu Dynamic Globals. All right, my friends, let's take a look into the budget section of Yamdu. And here I'm going directly into the extra talent section and extras. And you can see here my high society guests. That's what my friend at the set was talking about, right? And this is a manual entry, right? It's just 1 day, 150 extras here used for the multiplier, a daily rate of $250, and that gives me kind of that total here. So, but there is obviously a smarter way to do this with Yamdu Dynamic Globals. So in order to explain like the principle of a dynamic global, let's go to a different section. Let's actually open the editorial section. And let's go to our editor. So here I have Edit the Editor and his editing suite, right? And you see here RC45. So this is a dynamic global that I have created, and you see it here with this special kind of globe icon. And RC in my case stands for rough cut, but that's kind of an individual ID, right? And it also says here in parentheses 45. That stands for the 45 days. And then I have like his daily rate of $800 and, you know, like for his editing suite, $120. There are a couple of fringes and stuff like this, but this kind of gives me the total calculation, right, for Edit the Editor. So let's go to Tools and then to Globals, and I will explain you the differences between the different global types. So there you see my RC and rough cut, and I will get back to this in a second. But just to show you what you can do here, you can add as many globals as you like, and create prep. That's like a prep global, like a manual entry, custom. So this is not dynamic. That's just a regular global list. You might know it from different budgeting tools, and it just set it to 30 days. So whenever I enter in amount, the prep global, then it uses the 30 days until I update it here, and it will then globally change across my budget. But let's now take a look at Yamdu Dynamic Globals. So here, for example, I can see that something can be linked either to a production calendar or a shooting schedule. If we talk about the production calendar, we can actually choose from all our production calendar scenarios. And I take my active production calendar scenario, and then I can say, well, is this kind of linked to the entire scenario, like to all the days from start to end, or just like to like a different start and end date of a category, or even of a specific production step, for example, like the rough cut. And that's what we see here with RC, rough cut, a dynamic global, 45 days. So where do these 45 days come from? For that purpose, let's go into the production calendar, and then let's choose this particular production scenario. There I have my edit section and my rough cut. If I zoom out, you see there are, a lot of production steps as we've seen before. So this edit is actually a category, right? And then within that category, I have rough cut as a step. So I could change like the start and end or duration here, or I can simply, in the skunk plan, kind of drag this along. And you see it also moves, by the way, the director's cut because that is kind of linked, but that's a different topic. What's important here is that I have extended the rough cut from 45 to 53 days. Let's go back to our budget now, and you see here there is already a message that something has changed. So let's go here, and it tells me in blue, well, I could now update this global because something has changed in the linked calendar. And now I do this, it's now up to date, and it has changed from 45 to 53 days. And it even tells me that weekends are non-working days because that's the setting of the production step. So you always understand what's going on. And now Eddie is paid for 53 days because it has automatically adjusted all the calculations here. Now, as we saw before, elements cannot only be linked to like a production calendar, it can also be linked to the narrative assets of my script. So let's go to the script area, and here is scene 47, and you see like my high society guests here, 150 high society guests as extras, and also in scene 48, everything is tagged correctly, so I do have my extras here. If I go to the cast and extras section, I see them here. 150 extras are needed in 2 scenes, but only on one particular shooting day. So obviously here I have an outdated shooting schedule version. So let's actually go to the shooting schedule. All right, so here I have the strip board on the right side. I would have the inspector on the left side, but I scroll down to this shooting day where I have a scene 47 and scene 48. But obviously they couldn't shoot scene 48 yesterday, right? So I actually need to change this real quick. And I move scene 48 down to the next shooting day, right? So let's save. All right, now let's go back to the extras section. Now here, of course, I have not only 2 scenes, but now I also have 2 shooting days for my high society guests. So when I go to my extras, right, I want to delete like this manual entry because this was not a good idea from the very beginning. I rather want to import like all the information from my extras area. Let's say this is like a default daily rate of $250, and let's hit import. And there I have my high society guests. Now you see with the icon that they're linked, a linked entity. I have my 2 shoot days with the day out of days information because I need them on 2 days, right? And I have the multiplier pre-populated with 150 because that's the amount of extras I need per day. And I already have the daily rate, $250, which already triggers the calculations. And of course, you can simply add fringes and group and stuff like this. But you see, it just populates all the information of your budget in seconds and also guarantees that your schedule and your budget stay in sync. For my shooting schedule, I can link with Yamdu Dynamic Globals either the entire shooting schedule, which means all the shooting days all together, or I just take it with day out of days, and it dynamically filters only the day out of day information for narrative elements like, characters or like sets, etc., when those things are actually needed. And that's what you see here and why it has this little tag, DOODs. All right, now we have our group of extras for 2 shooting days instead of 1. All right, done.
That was dynamic. All right, let's roll.
There you have it. That's how you keep all your production data in sync with your budget. So if you think this video is useful, please hit like and subscribe. And always remember, she works hard for the money.